Howdy folks, welcome back to my World of Tanks replays with the mighty Jingles, and today we're in the garage with the Tiger II German Tier 8 heavy tank. I already have two Tiger II videos up, and I really don't want to spend too long in the garage with this thing. I mean, it's a well-known tank. Pretty much everybody is aware of its strengths and weaknesses. So I'll go over the stats relatively quickly, talk about what's good about it, what's bad about it, and then we'll just get straight into the replay. So, Tiger II Tier 8 heavy tank, German. And, well, you know, it's a German heavy tank. They all share a lot of things in common. They're all really slow. None of them turn very well. They're all massive targets. They tend to have very flat sides. They're very tall vehicles. They get penetrated from the sides and rear like you wouldn't believe. And the turrets take about a week to do a full rotation. That doesn't mean they're bad tanks. I love my Tiger II. I love all of the Tier 8 heavy tanks. They're all very, very good in their own way. The IS-3 is a fantastic brawler. Loves getting stuck in up close and personal. The T-32, if it manages to get hull down and point that legendary frontal turret armour towards you, even a T-110E3 would have problems getting through it. And the Tiger II it just has a fantastic gun. Well, it has two fantastic guns and one okay gun. And that's pretty much always been the German thing. It's always been about the accuracy and, you know, just the reliability of their guns. And the Tiger II is no exception there. But one of the other things that all the German, well, certainly from the Panther up and from the Tiger II up, have in common is the same massive, glaring weaknesses. And you're looking at it right there. This sucker, the lower frontal plate. The curse of the German tank line. In any game you get into, in a Tiger II, anything that is shooting at you is going to be able to put holes in that lower frontal plate. And because the Tiger II and the E75 and the E100 and the Panther and the Panther II all have frontal mounted transmissions, you take a shot through there, you better have a fire extinguisher handy, otherwise this is going to burst into flames. And trust me, it will. I've played a number of games on the Tiger II today before I got a good replay. Most of them were just appalling. And in two of them, the very first hit I took went through the front of the tank, and suddenly the engine bursts into flames. Get yourself a fire extinguisher when you're driving a German heavy tank. But enough of that. You can take steps, obviously, to minimise the risk of that happening. And the most obvious and first step is don't let them take shots at your lower frontal plate. Take advantage of the terrain. Just do whatever it takes to keep that covered up, because everybody who shoots at Tiger IIs knows that that's where you shoot at Tiger IIs. If you let them shoot at it, they will shoot at it, and you will burst into flames, and you will not have a very good game. However, if you're on ground where you cannot actually cover it up, then angle your tank. Just the act of turning your tank 30 to 40 degrees to one side or the other increases drastically the effective thickness of the armour, but not just on the lower plate, obviously the upper plate as well, which is 150mm thick, except for the machine gun port here, which is a small target. And effective angling will increase the armour of this thing by, I'm not sure of the exact figures, but I'm pretty sure you can get at least 180mm of effective thickness just by angling the thing properly. And even if what's being fired at you, and it will in a lot of cases, still have the penetration to get through the effective thickness, angling the armour increases the chances that it's just going to ricochet before it even needs to make a penetration roll. So you've got to learn to angle the hull of this tank if you want to live. It's just the way it is. But it's not a bad tank. It's a very, very good tank. Now let's have a look at the stats. So, 1600 hit points. Well, a Tier 10 tank destroyer is going to kill you in 2 hits. But you don't face many Tier 10 tank destroyers in this thing. The Tier 8 heavies, yeah, you can face Tier 10 tanks. You could before 7.5, you still can after 7.5. The only difference is after 7.5, it's not just Tier 10 heavies, there's Tier 10 mediums and Tier 10 tank destroyers. But like I said, you don't face many of them. You certainly don't see as many of them as the Tier 9s do. And generally speaking, your games are mostly going to be dominated by Tier 9 tanks. with some tier 10s thrown in there from time to time. But the matchmaker does seem to be a bit more generous to the tier 8 heavies than it seemed to be before. That could just be my perception, but it's been my experience so far. You certainly want to be cautious if you're in games with tier 10 tank destroyers and medium tanks, because they will roll all over you if you give them half a chance. So don't give them half a chance. Now, speaking of rolling all over you, that's one thing the Tiger 2 doesn't do very well. It doesn't roll anywhere. It's a very slow tank. 71 tons, 870 horsepower engine, low power to weight ratio. Means the top speed of this thing is 28 kilometers per hour. But you know, it's a German heavy tank. That's what we've come to expect. Also, traverse speed 26 degrees. Yeah, it doesn't turn very well. But you know, German heavy tank. That's what we've come to expect. Armour-wise, well, that frontal plate is 150mm thick. The front of the turret is pretty good. It's 185mm thick. And the sloping, well, it's only really with the Tiger 2 in the heavy line and with the Panther in the medium line that the Germans realised, oh, actually, yeah, what if we put the armour at an angle like those newfangled Russian things, and realised that it works. But they didn't quite get the idea. So frontally, it is angled, you know, it is sloped reasonably well, and the effective armour at the front is better than the 150mm it states on paper. And the effective armour of the turret, well, it is a bit of a sloping on the turret, but the turret front is a kind of small target to hit. And generally speaking, if you're trying to shoot at, I mean, if the Tiger 2 has his hull covered up and he's poking his turret around at you, and you shoot at the turret front, well, a number of things are likely to happen. One, it's just not going to go through. Two, it's going to hit the mantle and it's going to bounce. Or three, it's going to hit either the cheeks or it's going to hit the roof and it's going to bounce off. They're very, very tough to penetrate if all you can shoot at is the front of the turret. And it's definitely a plus point in its favour. If you do find yourself in that sort of situation, here's where you want to be shooting. That. Commander's cupola. You'll kill the commander and you'll do damage. And you'll keep doing damage if you keep hitting it. It is the weak spot if all you can shoot at is the front of the turret. Moving on, turret traverse. Yep, 25 degrees. I just want to check something here actually. Where are my American tank destroyers? The M18 Hellcat. Fantastic machine. One of the worst turret traverses I have ever seen on any vehicle in the game. And it has a turret traverse of 16 degrees per second. So just to put that into some sort of perspective for you, what feels to me like the worst turret traverse in the game, the M18 Hellcat, is 9 degrees slower than the Tiger 2. The turret does not turn very quickly at all. But, you know, German heavy tanks, that's what we've come to expect. View range, on the other hand, is very good, 400 metres, and the signal range is more than good enough, 710 metres. Let's have a look at the tech tree. Word of advice, if you have a Tiger 2 and you're just using it to get to the E75, you want to research that gun and you want to research both of those engines. And I'll tell you why. Because you use that gun on the E75 and you use that engine on the E75. And where is it? Yep, and there's the gun. Tiger 2. So when you get yourself your E75, you may have to research the tracks first. I can't remember, it's been a while since I got my E75. But as soon as you do, you can immediately fit that gun and that engine, because without that engine, I think the E75, well, it certainly feels like it has a top speed of about 8 kilometers per hour. The E75 with the last engine, which you have to research on the E75 because it only fits the E75 and the E50, that engine on the E75 turns it into a completely different tank. Until you get that engine, it is pretty much immobile. But you can at least help yourself by researching this one on the Tiger 2, and the best gun on the E75, the 128mm, well, you have to research the turret before you can fit that. But at least you can be using the best gun on the Tiger II in the meantime, which you don't need to research a turret for. So going back to the Tiger II's tech tree, I highly recommend that you get both engines and you get that L68 KWK-46 gun, because if you're planning on going to the E75, you will regret it if you don't already have them researched on the Tiger II. So just a word of advice there for you. Anyway, moving back to the Tiger II itself. Guns, yes, we need guns, lots of guns. Well, choice of 3 guns on the Tiger II, and well, 2 of them are fantastic, one of them's not bad. So there's the stock gun, the Long 88 that you got on the Tiger Tier 7 Heavy. And that's the best gun available on the Tiger, and it's a great gun. And a lot of people will still use this gun all the way through the Tiger II, for 2 reasons. One, they skip the 105mm, the first one, the L52, because it's not that much of an advantage over the 88. And they keep using the 88 until they've unlocked the L68, the second 105mm gun. Now, that is a good gun. And then they start using that. Or they're cheapskates and they just keep using the 88mm gun even after unlocking these 2. Or they never bother unlocking these 2. And the reason they do that, they're not crazy, it's still a good gun. And it's very economical to use. The ammo cost of the shells, once you start using 105mm guns, it's like every time you fire you spend over 1,000 credits. And for that reason, a lot of people don't bother using the L52 because the ammo cost and well, let's just compare the stats. It's a slower rate of fire than the 88, 7.79 versus 5.94. It's less penetration than the 88, 200 versus 203. The damage is better, 240 versus 320, but it's less accurate, and it does have better aiming time. So the only advantages it has over the 88mm are it aims faster and it does more damage. It does less penetration, slower rate of fire, and isn't as accurate. And the shells cost over 1,000 credits per shot. So a lot of people will use this 88mm gun, even when they've researched that, and never bother using that until they get to this gun. And this is the sweet spot. The KWK-46 L68. So slower rate of fire, obviously, it's a larger caliber shell. 225 penetration, 320 damage, 0.34 accuracy, 2.3 second aiming time. The only advantage the 88 has over this is faster rate of fire, and the shells don't cost as much. In every other respect, the 105mm gun is better. I use the 105mm, that's the one you can see mounted there. Some people do still use the 88, even on a fully elited and researched Tiger II, purely because it's a lot more economical to use. You'll find people who don't have premium accounts will often still use this gun, just because financially it makes sense, and it's not a bad gun. But those are your choices. Now, as far as equipment goes, not quite sure what I'm doing with coated optics, but definitely you want a large caliber tank gun rammer. And your choices, well, I would say, I mean, don't look at what I've got. I've pretty much robbed stuff from this to equip my other tanks, because I really don't play my heavies that much anymore. I would definitely say you want improved ventilation. You definitely want a medium caliber, large caliber tank gun rammer. Your third slot, well, you know what? A toolbox isn't a bad idea, because you are going to get your tracks blown off a lot in this thing, because artillery loves shooting at you, and if you get shot from the sides, you know, your tracks cover up about half of the side of the vehicle. And if people are aiming for this little old ammo rack you have under the turret, there's a good chance they're going to miss and blow your tracks off, and it does happen quite often. And I don't like wasting a repair kit on my tracks. I like to save it for my engine, or my gun, or my ammo rack. And having a toolbox just means you repair 25% faster. And it gets your tracks back up and gets you moving without having to waste a repair kit. So that's not a bad idea. Vertical stabilizer, nah, that's more a medium tank thing. The accuracy of this thing's very good anyway. Binocular telescope, no. Camouflage net, no. I don't know why I've got coated optics on it. I must have had them spare and thought, screw it, I'll just use it. Yeah, that's pretty much your only choice. I would say toolbox. I mean, vertical stabilizer isn't a terrible idea. Enhanced gun lane drive isn't a terrible idea. but I just feel like you'd get more use out of a toolbox on this thing. But, you know, it is 500,000 credits. These things ain't cheap, so whatever floats your boat. And I've kind of made the same choices with my crew skills. I've got brothers in arms for everybody, so you can see I have 115% crew. That would be 120% if actually it'd be 121% because the commander would also get the bonus from ventilation. So improved vents would give you 116% commander and 121% crew, and that does add up. But I've generally gone, and I do this on a lot of my heavy tanks, with repairs for the vast majority of my crew skills. And again, it's just because I don't like sitting around tracked on a target as big and obvious as this. And I don't like wasting repair kits on getting tracks up and running when I know I'm going to need them later on for my engine, ammo rack or gun. And that's just the way I roll. If you don't agree, fine, you know, fine. You play your game the way you want to play your game. This just works for me. So, speaking of playing the game, I've got a pretty fun replay lined up for you. I think it was an encounter battle on Ensk, and I do seem to be really having fun in encounter battles on Ensk lately. Certainly when I'm in my E50 and I get Ensk, I just think yes, which is kind of weird because that thing really, much like the Tiger 2, really prefers being in the background, shooting at long range, because that's what they're good at. But in encounter on Ensk, I don't know what it is. I just seem to be doing well in my German tanks lately. So without any further ado, here's the video. Well, here it is. I don't often start from this side on the map on Ensk. I've just realised that. Not sure why, but there you go. Today we are. And it's a tier 9 game. And this is the kind of match that you get into more often than not. I seem to find after 7.5 has come out. I mean, we've got a T-54, a 4502B, and an M103. They have an E-75, an E-50, and a T-54, and everybody else is Tier 8 or 7, other than the scouts and artillery, obviously. Well, in fact, even some of the light tanks are Tier 7. So this looks like a pretty good matchmaker for everyone. Unfortunately, we have a Sherman Jumbo, who was very unwisely platooned up with somebody with a higher matchmaking spread than him, so he's probably going to have a painful time of it. Now, the first thing I want to do is get the hell off this field, because they have an E50, a T54, a T44, two AMX 1375s, and I am a big fat target. And they will all spot me for artillery, and in page 1 of the artillery field manual it says kill Jingles first, so I'm getting the hell out of here. Haven't spotted anybody yet. Where the hell are they? Oh, yep. Here come the French lights. Did kind of expect them to come around this way. It's what I always do. So, which way are you going, Sonny Jib? Haha! Oh, I could be in trouble here. But no, he's gonna go for the Hummel. Where's he gone? There he is. Yep, he's trying to kill the Hummel. Oh, you're kidding? Yes, cool, okay. T-34 finished him off. Hummel saved. We've lost a Jag Panther. Yeah, where's that Hummel gone? Oh, he's gone the other way. Oh, fine. I was wondering where he disappeared to. So what do we have? 1375, there's T-44 through there. Looks like he's the one who's trying to cap this early in the game. Really? He went there in a T-44? On this map? Okay. Whatever. Now the only thing we can see on the map right now is a 30, and he just took a big ass hit from somebody. And where is he? Oh, he's dead. T-34 killed him. Okay. Hello. What's that behind us? It looks like an E50. Yeah. That looks very E50-like, and he has a T-20 with him. They took their time coming. Oh, there he is. Hopefully, right in the ammo rack. Just under the turret. We can only hope for some ammo rack damage. You never know your luck. Okay. Oh, bloody hell, another tiger. How did they get around there without us seeing them? Oh, they must have rolled over the other tiger too. And oh, targets everywhere. Which one to shoot? Well, the Tiger 2 is the easiest kill. Come on. Oh, okay, if I must shoot the E75, I will. E50. Yeah, trying to... Okay, he only has the 105, the first 105mm gun, by the looks of it. Yeah. Sneaky little bugger. Keep an eye on him. Oh, I have other problems.
The track is damaged.
Oh, that was lucky. Tracks ate it.
Penetration.
And bounced. So that's the sort of angle you really want to be using.
We finished him off. We're immobilized.
And again, tracks took the damage. I haven't actually taken a single point of physical damage yet. This IS realises the kind of trouble he's in. Oh. Okay, I ain't gonna kill him. Oh, E50's backing up. Oh, come on. Don't make me chase you. You'll just die tired. He's gonna make me chase him.
We've hit them hard.
Now, hopefully, the first shot I put into him damaged his ammo rack, and he's used a repair kit, and now, I don't know, he still looks pretty mobile. Doesn't look like I damaged his engine with that rear shot. He stops to kill the Jagdpanzer. Yeah, fair enough. Which means I'm going to reload before he can fire again.
Penetration.
And that one looked like it went right through his lower plate. But really, what choice did he have? And now, what they got? T-54. Oh, that IS-3's got about 50 health left. M103 has just killed their French arty. And there's the T-54. Looks like the M103 is going to get in. Yep, just before arty does. And if I was this IS-3, I would be backing off. And that is exactly what he's trying to do. Let's not fluff this shot. There we go, make sure it hits. And a GW Panther. Oh, can we ninja this kill? Yeah, we can.
Got him.
That was a fun game. And, well, personal achievements, yep, killed 4, damaged 4. More importantly, shots fired 14, hit the target 14. Hits received 3. Repairs, ding 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 ding. Letting you angling so that you increases the effective thickness of your frontal armour and encourages the chance of a bounce. And using your tracks to eat damage. Well, what can I say? Hits received 3, repairs nothing. The Tiger 2, German, Tier 8 heavy tank. It's still got it. Catch you next time.